Welcome back to Passionate About Tech. Today, I'm going to show you how to build the ultimate power machine by dual booting Windows and Kali Linux. Kali is the gold standard for penetration testing and ethical hacking, but you don't have to give up Windows to use it. In this guide, we'll repartition your drive, prepare a bootable USB, and handle the tricky BIOS settings to get you up and running for 2026. Ready to level up? Let's jump in. Step 1. Downloading the essentials. First, we need the right tools. I'll start by opening my browser and heading over to kali.org. Once the page loads, click the large download button right in the center. On the next screen, you'll see several options. We want to click on the Installer Images section, which is recommended for direct hardware access. Now, just scroll down to the x86_64 tab and click on the installer icon to launch the download. This file is about 4.4 gigabytes, so it might take a few minutes depending on your internet speed. While that's downloading, we need a tool to flash that image onto our USB drive. We're using Rufus. Go to rufus.ie and download the portable version. It's a tiny file, less than 2 megabytes, so it will be ready instantly. Step 2. Preparing the bootable USB. Now, grab your USB flash drive. For this tutorial, I'm using a 32 gigabyte drive, but anything 8 gigabytes or larger will work. Warning: this process will wipe everything on your USB, so back up your files first. Open Rufus. Select your USB drive from the drop-down. Then, click Select and find the Kali Linux ISO file we just downloaded. Here is a very important tip. When you click Start, Rufus will ask about the write mode. You must select DD image mode. The Kali documentation specifically requires this to boot correctly. Click OK, confirm the data destruction warning, and let Rufus do its magic. Step 3. Carving out space in Windows. While the USB is being written, let's prepare your hard drive. We need to shrink your Windows partition to make a home for Kali. Right-click the Windows Start menu and select Disk Management. Look for your C drive. Right-click on it and select Shrink Volume. For this demonstration, I am going to shrink the disk by 30,000 megabytes, which is roughly 30 gigabytes. This is a great size for a Kali lab. Click Shrink. You will now see a block of unallocated space. Leave it just like that. Kali will find it later. Step 4. Mastering the BIOS. This is the part that trips most people up. To boot from our USB, we need to change two settings: Secure Boot and the boot order. Pro tip: every computer is different. I am using a Dell laptop, but if you have an HP, Lenovo, or Asus, the keys will be different. Please pause the video now and search Google for your machine model plus boot menu key or BIOS key to be sure. Disabling Secure Boot. To access your settings, you'll need to restart your computer and repeatedly tap your BIOS key. In my case, using a Dell, I'll be tapping the F2 key. Once inside, navigate to the Secure Boot tab, locate the Secure Boot Enable option, and switch it to Disabled. This step is required because certain Linux kernels lack the digital signature required by Windows. Click Apply and Exit to save your changes. As the machine restarts, tap your boot menu key repeatedly. On this machine, that's the F12 key. Use your arrow keys to highlight your USB flash drive and press Enter to begin booting from the key. Step 5. Installing Kali Linux. You should now see the Kali boot menu. Select Graphical Install. Language/region. Select English, United States, and American English. Next, pick your geographic location or country. This step is important as it helps Kali automatically set your time zone and regional preferences. Keyboard layout. Select your keyboard layout based on how you type most comfortably. The default is typically American English. Network. Kali will try to configure the network. You can use Wi-Fi, but I'm using a USB Ethernet adapter for a more stable connection. Hostname and domain. Now for the network identity. For the hostname, go ahead and type in Cali. When it asks for the domain name, the default is usually home, so we will leave it as that and click Continue. Users and passwords. This part is for your personal account. For the full name of the new user, I'm typing in Passionate Tech as an example. When it asks for the username, you can change this to whatever you like, but in my case, I prefer to keep it exactly the same as my full name. Finally, set a strong password and confirm it below. You'll be prompted to configure the clock by selecting your time zone. I'm choosing Eastern. Partitioning. This is the most critical step for your dual boot. When prompted, select Guided. Use the largest continuous free space. This tells Kali to install itself directly into that 30 GB gap we prepared earlier without touching your Windows files. On the next screen, choose All Files in One Partition, which is highly recommended for new users, and click Continue. You'll see an overview of your new partitions. Select Finish Partitioning and write changes to disk and hit Continue. Finally, when it asks to write the changes to disks, select Yes and click Continue to begin the process. Now, pick your desktop environment. I recommend the default XFCE and hit Continue. The installation will take about 10 to 20 minutes. Step 6. The Dual Boot Handshake. When you see the Installation Complete screen, it is time to boot into your new system. Make sure to remove the installation media from your USB port so that the computer boots from the hard drive rather than restarting the installer. Once the drive is out, click Continue to reboot your laptop. As the computer starts up, you will now see the Grub Bootloader menu. This is your new command center. You can select Kali GNU/Linux to enter your hacking lab, or scroll down to Windows Boot Manager to head back to your normal Windows desktop. If your computer boots straight into Windows without showing this menu, don't panic. This can happen if the Windows boot priority takes over. Simply restart, use your BIOS key, again that's F2 on my Dell, and go into your boot settings to change the boot order so that Kali or Debian is moved to the very top of the list. There you have it, a fully functional dual boot machine. Hey, if this guide helped you break into the world of Linux, hit that subscribe button and join the Passionate About Tech community. It helps me keep these deep dive tutorials coming. Having trouble with your BIOS? Drop a comment with your laptop model below and I'll try to help you out. Stay passionate, keep hacking ethically, and I'll see you in the next one.